So you're gonna get and a singer and a songwriter,
Yeah.
a writer extraordinaire,
And I can cook.
and I can cook too. On top of the rest, my seafood's the best in town. Okay, well, now that we got that out of the way. So I think we're going to get some different perspectives from not only the singer side of it as a performer, but also from the other side, which is as a writer. And then Amy brings to it another element, which is working with nonprofits and profits, bringing them together. Also, she has been very popular lately in a series of
Delivering happiness at work.
Delivering happiness at work, and she has a series of different topics she's been discussing, and she has some exciting news to share with us, I think, today too, because she just is getting ready to go to a new level with some marketing and speaking.
Yeah, exciting stuff. I've been told quite a bit. I need to get on a larger platform, and I just signed up with an organization that's going to help me do that. So,
That's wonderful.
Ready or not, here we come.
Amy, let's get started with our inspirational moment for today, which is July the 25th,
and
2012.
Today, I found the coolest tool.
Okay.
One of the things that I think is really hard for us as women is not taking care of everybody else, right? And taking some time to take care of ourselves. And so I found the coolest book. It's called 5 Good Minutes, and it's 100 morning practices to help you take care of yourself.
Oh, I love that.
And I'm one of my favorites is breathing, and we've done that because you can do that anywhere, anytime. And this next one that I found is called Relaxation at Your Fingertips.
Ooh.
Yes. So we're gonna do this together.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna guide you through, and this will help you to be relaxed and centered and focused, and to help you with anything that you're gonna do. And today I'm going to talk a little about time management, and I think being focused is one way to really help you do that.
Okay.
All right. So first off, we're going to use our hands. We're going to use our thumb, and then we're going to touch each of our fingers. So first, our thumb to our index finger. And now I want you to travel back to a time when you felt a healthy exhaustion from exerting yourself physically, such as cleaning the house, mowing the lawn, or going bike riding. Can I feel that for a minute? So now you're going to take your thumb and your middle finger, and you're going to touch those together, and you're going to travel back in time to a loving exchange with someone special, such as a devoted love letter, a sensual touch, or a heart-expansive conversation. Let yourself breathe that in. Next, we're going to go thumb to ring finger. You're going to recall the most caring gesture that you have ever received. You deserve it. You earned it. Allow yourself to accept it. And now, thumb and little finger. Travel back to the most magnificent place that you've seen or dreamed about. Take this moment to absorb all the beauty that surrounds you. Breathe that in, breathe that in. Now back we go. And the thing that's so cool, anytime you can just touch each of your fingers. Physical, gift, love, and beautiful place.
I love that. Now, for those of you who are driving and trying to do this at the same time,
Keep your eyes open.
Keep your eyes open.
Well, and I've been playing with this, and I'll be in a heated argument or whatever, right? And I just start doing that. They don't know what I'm doing.
That's right.
I don't have to close my eyes. I can see it in my mind's eye.
That's right. They think you're counting on your fingers.
Hopefully you have them with you, right?
Yes, that's true. Thank you, Amy, for
You're
that.
welcome.
That was wonderful. Well, Jeannie, let's start with you.
Alrighty.
You are a member of WIMA.
I am.
As is Laura. And Amy Frost is on our advisory board. So we have all WIMA people here.
Yay.
Yes, yes, yes. And so Jeannie has a very long list of shows that she's been in. National tours, New York, off-Broadway, Las Vegas casinos, regional theater, recordings, television, training, educational skills, special skills, and work experience.
Oh,
Oh
I
my
get that
gosh.
all on one page.
And it's all on one page. That is very tiny, tiny writing.
I know.
What font is that anyway? 6.5?
No, I wouldn't go less than 8.
So let me just give a little bit here. Jeannie Bry hails from Colorado Springs, Colorado, where she spent her childhood tap dancing. Her mother married her tap teacher, and the dance studio was in the basement. Aha! And singing to the music of the 20s, 30s, and 40s. She grew up on stage, performing in musicals from The Sound of Music, Anything Goes, Fiddler on the Roof, Music Man, and Oklahoma. to Death Valley Days melodrama as the heroine, and 100 Years of Song and Music, a review with special guest Ruth Edding. Oh my gosh.
And I did all that before the age of 14.
I mean, some people might just give up after that and say, gee, I was a child star. But no.
It was really
No, she
fun.
still is.
My
She still is.
my stepdad turned the family into a vaudeville act.
Oh.
And people say, well, vaudeville was dead, in the 70s and 80s. Of course, been dead for about 60 years at that point. But we played the animal circuit, the lions, the eagles, the elks, the and nursing homes and all that sort of stuff. But it
Right.
really was kind of like the Jimmy Cagney or George M. Cohan story, where my mother thinks she my father. We had that whole little routine going.
How many people
So.
in the family? How many?
I have two brothers, and they both tap dance, much to their chagrin.
So they have a brother act too?
And the thing is I act no, but I started singing because I discovered that dancers who sing make much more money and they get the parts.
That's
so
right.
I
That's
started
right.
singing at about age 9, and so haven't looked back.
Well, you're actually in a kind of a show that is retro.
I know, I'm
to
doing a
that
vaudeville
era,
show
too,
right
a
now.
vaudeville show
Yeah.
right out at Bonnie Springs.
Yes, and I love the vaudeville show. And the producers are with Phantom the Spectacular.
Yes.
So they're from New York. It's so professional. The cast is amazing. I mean, one of them, Enoch Scott, is in 3 or 4 other things right now. He's the comic lead in Cannibal the Musical at the Plaza. He's in Awesome 80s Prom. He's in he's one of the summer camp counselors at the pool at Hard Rock. His schedule's worse than mine, and
And
you
I
can
thought
see
I
from
was
this.
busy.
Yeah, he's doing shows all over the place,
Oh,
but
that's
he's
great.
just marvelous. And we have a wonderful cast. It's just an amazing class.
Well, I noticed that you brought a CD.
I did. Yeah.
Okay. Is there a particular song that you would like to hear?
Well, I was
Or
kind of
like
going to
to
ask
play
you.
for our audience?
I have a band called the Speakeasy Swingers, and that was
Okay.
their first CD. We did a show at at Fitzgerald's Casino downtown in 2007,
Okay.
and we recorded it live during a show. And track 4 is the most requested song by my band. Now, this is back when the band was only about 4 or 5 pieces. This song is from 1937, and it's called "I Double Dare You." And it's a lot more fun now. We've augmented the arrangement, and it's even better than it is on the CD. But I really love this song, and it is.
Great.
We did it last night at the House of Blues, and got a
Okay.
great.
I was talking to Jeannie before, and I said, is Sandy married? Are you married?
Yes.
Oh, good, because I said, because if not, she's a beautiful woman always.
Again. I've heard this song.
I know, it's so period, isn't it?
Yes.
It
What
bounces.
happened?
It's, sorry, what was the email?
sksmusicsandy@gmail.com. Okay, I think it's about the end, right?
This is it.
We're at 40 seconds. Oh, okay.
Oh, it's over. Come on
Okay.
down. Well, welcome back to Women in Music and Arts, and that was Jeannie Bry, and that was "I Double Dare You"
Yeah.
on one of her albums.
I
there.
love that it's a bouncy song.
That's right.
Very period.
This is Women in Music and Arts, and we're going to take a break and listen to our sponsors.
Yeah, when I do my television shows, I go on Jazz and Jeannie Bry, your tour guide for time travel.
Is it not working?
You did the password. I
Here.
tried the one we always use, but
Ah,
We're doing hypnosis here.
here, when you get a chance, would you take capture a picture? When we get a chance, would I get it all the way over to you? Oh, well, thank you. Welcome back to Women in Music and Arts. We are broadcasting live from Las Vegas every Wednesday at noon on KLAV 1230 AM and on KLAV AM 1230, streaming, that was .com. Streaming online at KLAV1230am.com. This show will be rebroadcast Friday morning at 10 a.m. on VegasAllNetRadio.com. Our show today is sponsored by the members of Women in Music and Arts, empowering artists of all ages through education and mentorship. And you can find out more about Women in Music and Arts by going to our website, the WIMA Foundation, WIMAFoundation.org. My guests today are Jazz and Jeannie Bry, Laura Manning, and Amy Frost. Well, Laura,
Yes, ma'am.
you are a wonderful example of someone who has stayed in the business and endured a lot of different changes throughout time. And you've been a comedy writer. You have, oh, here, let me get over here. And you're a singer also, and you were just performing at our Boca Park Summer Bash.
Yes, that was fun.
Which is on the 14th. And that was to raise money for the WIMA Scholarship Fund.
Yes.
So you were part of that.
Yes, I loved it.
And you got to play on the same billing that the Vegas Underground was playing on.
Yes. Yes, they were very good.
Yeah, in fact, Cadillac sponsored that, and the Vegas Underground was generous enough to come and perform, and they brought a lot of guests out to sing and perform for us that day. It was a great event that we had. So, you began your singing career with William Schubach Agency, sang at over 4,000 weddings for various orchestra leaders, including Meyer Davis, Lester Lannon, Gino Bartal. Background voice on many commercials. You sing in 7 languages.
Yes.
You sang on several cruise ships, including the Queen Anna Maria, the Queen Elizabeth I, sang in dozens of nightclubs all over the United States, sang in Vietnam with comedian Georgie Jessel, under the sponsorship of the State Department and the USO. So you started writing lyrics for a composer named Leo Ross, and you had your first song published, Busy Little Bee, in 1956.
Right.
That's a long career.
Really.
So, Laura, why don't you tell me, how did you get started? Because it sounds like you just started right from the beginning.
Well,
You were a little girl.
my father was a musician, and when I was a little girl, he played in Broadway shows.
Mhm.
And there was a show called George White's Scandals. Who's alive that remembers that?
I remember that. I don't
Okay.
remember seeing it, but I remember
No, of
reading
course
about
not.
it.
There you go. And I was 4 years old, and he took me to this show. And after it was over, he brought me backstage.
Oh gosh.
And I announced to everybody in the cast, Eleanor Powell, Harry Richmond, Bert Law, I announced to them, I'm going to be a singer.
Wow.
And I kept my word.
That's
and
amazing.
everything I did after that led to that. My father then, after he stopped working in Broadway shows, he was the first clarinetist at Radio City Music Hall. And so when I was 16, I started studying voice seriously. And he said, well, when you're 18, I will take you to somebody, and we'll see how you do. And he said to me, if you want to be in this business, you've got to learn standards. I said, what are those? Well, those are the songs that have lasted through the years. How many do I have to learn? He says, about 100. And I said, 100? And he said, yes, when you come home from school every day, you're going to have lists, lyric lists, and you're going to learn these songs. He said, so you'll learn 2 a week. At the end of the year, you'll know 104 songs. I said, gee, that made sense. So what he forgot to tell me was that after I learned 3 weeks of songs, if I didn't sing them every day, I would forget them. So I would come home from school and start from the beginning. Until at the end of the year, I knew those songs. And I want you to know, I know every one of them today.
That's right. When we learn
They
songs
are
when we're kids.
stuck in my head.
Yes, I noticed that even when we see performers that are, as they're getting older, a lot of times it's usually the songs that they just recently learned that are the ones that go quickly from their memory. But the ones that they learned when they were a lot younger,
Yeah.
stay with them.
Stay with them.
No matter what anybody else is doing in the room, no matter what the musicians play, if there's a mistake or anything, they can jump right back in on that.
Absolutely
That's
true.
right.
And
Yeah.
so when I was 18, he took me to an orchestra leader in New York. That was William Schubach. And Willie was one of these, agent with a cigar. And
I got a deal for you.
He says to me, your father says you can sing. Let me hear you sing. I go, what? In this room now? He says, if you're a good singer, you can sing. Okay, what did I sing? I sang It Might As Well Be Spring.
That's not an easy song.
Well, it was for me at that
Well, I
time,
mean, yeah, but-
at any rate, he said, you're hired. That weekend I worked, and I never stopped since.
That's
I've
great.
been going since. And through marriages, through children, through everything, I'm still singing.
The music survives.
The music survives. And thank God, every day I thank God for the fact that my voice has lasted.
That's wonderful. It's in your heart, and you're passionate about it.
It is.
And it shows. Well, you were in our first songwriter showcase
Yes.
back in January.
Yes.
That was right after WIMA first started really started building our membership. We started officially last June, but we really didn't start saying, okay, become a member until January. And now we're almost up to 100 members
That's great.
already. So
That's
it's
wonderful.
really exciting that you were one of the first ones
Yes.
to get on board.
That was a great night.
And I remember you came on board at the same time with Jeannie.
Yeah.
Because Jeannie sent me an email and she says, and I happen to have a friend and she'd like to join also.
Yeah, my band plays the first Thursday of each month at the Italian American Club, and Laura came because it was her, I believe, 85th birthday.
Yes.
And she and her son said, "Oh, she'd love to sing with your band." And I said, "Well, we'd love to have her," because I had heard she toured with Georgie Jessel in the USO and
Sure.
stuff. And I was like, "We'd love to have her." So she came up and she gets a standing ovation every month. She'll sing "The Man I Love" and just bring everyone to tears. It's beautiful.
Oh, that's great. And speaking of music, I believe she bought a CD also. What song would you like for our listeners to hear today?
Well, I'm not going to give you the title. It's sort of a surprise.
Okay.
But you will hear it, and
We'll
I hope you
recognize
like
it, right?
Yeah, it's a philosophy of life,
Okay.
And you wrote it.
and I wrote it.
Oh, okay.
When the world is set against me and my plans have not worked out, when I don't know where to turn and my mind is full of doubt, and when I begin to wonder what this life is all about, I readily conceive there's one thing that I need. Chocolate. Chocolate. Give me chocolate, I'm in bliss. French or German.
I used this song. She sang it with my band on the Vintage Vegas Variety Show, the television show.
Oh, okay.
I produced.
Chemically, I get high on Sara Lee. I'll just start dancing hips. For chocolate on my lips. For cookies that have
Sierra,
Yeah.
are we plugged in?
You mean charging?
No, at that end, the plug, the black plug. It's not.
We couldn't get the hangout to work because
You can get the what?
the hangout to work because you have to do this text message verification, which goes to Tito's phone.
No, not his.
That's what it said.
From my site? From
For
my,
the
from that
YouTube
one?
account.
For the Sandy Kastel one?
For the one you gave me.
No, that's not to Tito.
Well, it said the verification's been sent to blah 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 the number, and I typed it in your phone.
About 45 seconds. Do you want to fade down?
We're gonna have. Okay. All right. Welcome back to Women in Music and Arts. We are broadcasting live from Las Vegas every Wednesday at noon on KLAV 12:30 a.m. That was Laura Manning, and that was Chocolate. Oh my gosh, that was wonderful.
Thank you.
And you're still singing that song today.
Oh, yes.
And you get a standing ovation
Usually.
every time you sing over at the Italian American Club with Jeannie Bry and her group of what's the title?
The Speakeasy Swingers.
The Speakeasy
You can
Swingers.
check us out at thespeakeasyswingers.com.
And you have a website also, don't you, Laura?
I do.
Yes. What is that?
It's, oh dear, www.lauramanning.weebly, weebly.com.
All
And
right.
you'll get the samples of singing, one standard and two things that I wrote,
Great.
plus all the credits, the comedians I've worked with, and stuff like that,
Good, good.
and shows.
All right. Yeah, look at these shows. Oh my gosh. Antiques, The Fortunes of Farley, Go Like 60, Know Your Body from Head to Toe. These are children's albums. What
Yeah.
can the difference be?
Used
A
on
Woman
Captain
is
Kangaroo.
Love, Bridges, The Old Lady, of Thread Needle Street, Just for Me, Room for Everybody, Religious Works, Who is That Man? Jesus, Jesus is the Lord. He's everywhere.
Yeah,
Wow, just a few credits here.
just a few.
All right. Well, Amy,
Yes, ma'am.
so what are you going to sing for us?
Nothing. I'm a great shower and car singer. I am fabulous. Other than that, no, I don't sing.
Well, but you do talk about happiness and delivering happiness.
And a lot of what that focus is I'm very excited about delivering happiness at work.com, and their focus is helping people to live their passion and their purpose with profits. And that's what this is all about for me.
That's great.
I love artists. I love creativity. And I'm very creative in my way, not singing in the quote unquote traditional way. And these two amazing women are a great example of one thing I wanted to talk about today was time management.
Yes.
And multiple. I wasn't going to talk about this, but I'm going to multiple streams of income.
That's
That
good.
is really important. And if you because you can't count on any one source, because I guarantee it's going to dry up, or change, or shift, or something.
Right.
So you've got to have multiple streams of income, and along with multiple streams of income is a lot of things to do,
Right.
right? And so you've got to be managing multiple priorities continuously.
Okay, so let's take a little break for the sponsors, and we will be right back, and we'll be talking about the business of being an artist with Jeannie Bry and Laura Manning and Amy Frost. See you in a minute. Welcome back to Women in Music and Arts. We are on KLAV every Wednesday at noon at KLAV 12:30 a.m. and streaming online at KLAV1230am.com. This show will be rebroadcast Friday morning at 10 a.m. on VegasAllNetRadio.com. My guests today are Jazz and Jeannie Bry, Laura Manning, and Amy Frost, and we are talking about the business of being an artist. And Amy was just mentioning some things about what she wanted to talk about today, and then I know Jeannie was.
Oh, Jeannie's just got the perfect example.
She's got a perfect example.
So how I want to lead off, and this is what I always ask people: is if minutes were dollars, what is the rate of return on your time? Right. So you've got a perfect example, if you wouldn't mind sharing.
Well, when I lived in New York, you're working all the time, 18 hours a day, lots of different jobs, but you're not really making a lot of money, because I was doing that whole starving artist thing. Mm-hmm. And I took a course in business and for actors. It was that Actors Information Project.
Right.
And they said, you need to start valuing your time. You need to do this and this and this. And they made me quit a couple of jobs, and they made me ask for more money at certain jobs. They were like, you must do this. And within
Where's this class?
It was a great class.
We're making it happen, girlfriend.
Yeah, we're making it happen
We're making
here.
it happen.
They made us meet at 6 a.m. on Mondays because it was the only time that everyone was free.
Well, I'm not going to do that.
But it took serious commitment to be there Monday mornings at 6 a.m. But within 60 days, I went from being $1,000 in the red to having $10,000 in the bank.
Yay!
And it's
Wow.
partially, it's a mindset change.
Yes.
That you're worth it.
Uh-huh.
It's an energy thing to realize that money is really energy,
Yeah.
and that if you're putting out that energy, you should be getting some back. So I'm actually at that spot that I need to do it again. Good. I'm in the red again, and I'm realizing, okay, what was I doing then that worked, and what am I not? So
You were really focusing on it then. That's what
exactly.
happened,
And I had a
probably.
group of people that were very supportive and said, here's what
Right.
and they were very incredible. It was just like changing your mindset to being worth it, to being
Right.
all that stuff, and you're like, okay, I got to do that again.
That's great. That's great.
And setting priorities.
That sounds like
It's
a great workshop.
Because you'll be busy all the time. You can always be
You
busy.
can always be busy.
One of my favorite, Mother Teresa's a mentor of mine, and one thing that her prayer was always, Father, there's so much work that I can do. When you fund that project, I know that's the one you want me to do.
That's good. That's good. I like it.
It wasn't about the money. It
Right.
was about the energy.
Right.
So that's one of the key things. Also, how about you, Laura? I mean, I'm sure there was something for you. I mean, you started out just working, and you just kept working. But was there ever a time when you said, I really have to look at what I'm doing and figure out how to, make a difference in the way that I'm doing it?
In a word, yes. To all of that. As a singer, I realized I was always a writer also, and I realized that I would make more money if I could market myself as a singer who wrote. And I started writing industrial shows, things for businesses, where I could write parodies for people,
Right.
for a special occasion, for a birthday, for a boss who's retiring, for a promotion. And I would get all of this information from the workers, really inside information. And I did things like for United States Steel, IBM, American Cyanamid. I did all of these and get all of this information, and then they would book me as a special speaker. And all of a sudden I would pull out a guitar, and they'd say, what's going on here? And I would go with all of these people singing parodies about what they did. Like if somebody was a president of a steel mill, I wrote, give him I-beams of steel, take me out of the building, but related to the iron and steel industry. And I did roast for famous people when I wrote with Sidney Miller. We did Leo DeRocha, we did Judge Wapner, we did Cary Grant, we did bunches of people where we would do their life story in parodies. And then I started making money as a writer, because I always wrote. And I figured years ago in New York, the special material writers were making $1,000 for a piece of material, so that a singer would have something, different to sing that nobody else was singing.
Yes.
I said, I can write better than that. I'll start doing that, and I did. I started writing for myself.
Is that the same thing like when Streisand, for instance, sings a song, but then she changes, the words are changed
Somebody
to
has
suit
written that.
her personal life?
Yeah,
Right.
somebody has written that and gotten very well paid to do
And
it.
then what they do is they do have to get the rights from the
Yes.
author, the
Yes.
original writer of the
Mhm.
song, and
Yes.
so that there's licensing fees involved in all of that,
Absolutely.
and approvals that have to
Absolutely.
be made, right?
Yep.
Okay,
That's okay.
and so that's a good business thing.
Yes, it is, absolutely. And now I'm involved in 2 shows that I've written. I had those shows that you mentioned before, but these 2 I really have great hopes for. One is called The Ghost of Gershwin, which I'm writing with this amazing performer whom you've seen in Las Vegas, Waylon Picard, who did Liberace in full prosthetic makeup at Planet Hollywood not recently.
That's right.
And he's a brilliant composer, and we wrote this show called The Ghost of Gershwin, for which we're trying to get funds. And now the second one I wrote with a composer named Arnold Freed, who's got all kinds of credits, movie credits, and he's a classical composer, more or less, symphonic works and things like that. And we wrote a show called The Animals' Christmas, which is the story, the myth, the fable, that on Christmas Eve, the animals have the power of speech. And they have the ability to tell you what really happened when Christ was born. Exactly, because they were there.
Because they were there.
And so next week or the week after, I will start making demo records for that.
And that's when you met Ned Mills? Or no, it was Marco Giovi.
Yes, I'm
Mark
going
Giovi.
to use him
Yes.
as one of the singers. He'll be one of the wise men
Mhm.
who sing a song called Gold, Frankincense, and Myrrh, of course. And I have a couple of other singers that I want to use Billy from the show.
Billy Dunn from the Vaudeville Show,
Yeah.
who also comes and sits in with my band.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And there's a singer that I met through Betty Lou Garris's workshop. She teaches voiceover technique.
Here in town.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so we'll make the demos for that. And then I will try to sell it to the Christian Network.
Okay.
And
Is that going to be a classically geared show or a pop?
it's
Or is it
pop. It's
pop?
both. It crosses a couple of lines.
Mhm.
There's things that are pop songs,
Okay.
and there are things that are semi-religious, semi-spiritual sort of things.
Okay.
You know.
So you were talking about, okay, one of the things I wanted to ask you about that, when you're writing a production like this, say something like The Ghost of Gershwin, what kind of things do you have to go to get the rights to do?
You don't.
Do you have to? Because
No.
you're writing a totally fresh new song?
Yeah.
I mean, new show, but you can...
You can do a show on anybody's life.
But are you using any of his songs?
No,
Ah,
except
okay.
except the Rhapsody in Blue, which is now public domain.
Oh.
It is? Nobody got
After
it?
like 75, 100 years. it
Yeah, but
becomes-
somebody can redo that.
Well,
Why don't you redo it?
no, we can't. The family
I
would
mean,
do
the
it.
family.
But it has to be public domain. There are certain things that become public domain, and they are forever.
Right, after 100 years?
Yeah. So
Or 75, you said?
as you come into the theater, you will hear the Rhapsody in Blue. But outside of that, everything we were channeled by Gershwin and Ira. I was
Okay.
channeled by Ira because all of the lyrics I wrote had to sound as if they were written by Ira.
I see, okay.
That's hard to do.
Yeah.
And last month they had a workshop production of it in LA that we weren't able to go to, unfortunately.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah, it's headed for Broadway.
Oh, you should let us know these things, Jeannie, then we can put it up on the website and stuff. That would be nice.
It's been just
Now,
fun.
did you
right?
have funding for that? Did you get backing for that to do
No,
the show?
we paid for all the demos and all of the readings and everything.
You did.
That's what a songwriter has to do.
Well, sometimes they do get. Well, for the reading, you're right. If it's a straight reading,
Yeah.
which we were just involved in a reading of this new musical that's back in North Carolina, but because they did productions and they did do some costume things, it wasn't strictly a reading where they just stand there and they use the book and then they sing the songs, right?
Right.
And that's what they did in your
Yes.
case, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's good.
Yeah.
So that's another thing that we can put into the workshop. So different streams. This is
Mhm.
this really is that.
Absolutely.
Because she found
She's-
another
They're
way.
singing my song.
That's right.
Because I can't sing it.
But you're writing the lyrics. No, you're
That's
helping
right. I can
the
do that.
message.
I can
You're the
do that
messenger,
part.
and yes, we're
Absolutely.
carrying it forward.
And they, oh my gosh, what great mentors both of you are. I mean,
Yes.
and we have to help. You know, not young, quote unquote. Is like there's all kinds of amazing artists that need this kind of help, no matter what age they
Right.
are.
So, Jeannie, I wanted to ask you, as you've been working in town for how long?
I moved here in '95.
95. Have you been working steadily the whole time, or have there been ups and downs?
There's been a few ups and downs. I actually went to work for a destination management company for a while where I was producing corporate entertainment, and sort of kind of along the lines of what Laura was doing. I loved that job, and then 9/11 happened. So it was sort of a down because everybody canceled their conventions and stuff. So that was down for about a year, and so I actually just went out on the road. And I went out on the road for a couple of years, came back, and what I had done prior to that, I also write, and I write shows, produce shows, and I've written 5 television shows that have aired on PBS locally, but I've also had my own series this year. I wrote the Vintage Vegas Variety Show, and there's 13 episodes of that on the internet now.
Really?
They aired on Vegas TV,
That's great.
late night on Saturdays, about 11:30. And but it was fun because I like being Jazz and Jeannie Bry, your tour guide for time travel, and I love vintage entertainment, and I want to show people that there's vintage entertainment all over the place.
That's wonderful. So, what time is that on again?
Well, it's currently on hiatus. We finished season
okay.
1. We're coming back for season 2 next month. It provided it gets funded. All right, Lord, are you listening?
Right.
You know, but it was really an educational experience for me because I was also editing it. So this was the first thing I've ever done where I'm also the editor. And, you know, it's the next step for me. I love writing and I love performing.
Right.
But now getting to edit it, I mean, you really do feel like God. You have the power.
Right? Yeah. In that project.
I'm God of my own project. That's right. That's
The
right.
God of my own project. So it is fun, and it is fun to see it on television and to have people talk about it and be thrilled that they're on television.
How many people were in the show?
It was me going to places. So if you were performing somewhere and I
Okay.
could show you off and say, here's where she is. Unfortunately, Mr. B's Supper Club has already closed. You know, and I was trying to get a lot of places more publicity than they, could. And but we're trying to get out there. The Cellar was a place, and the Italian American Club, and just different places where you can go to see vintage entertainment.
But there's always
So-
new places coming.
Exactly, and there's a new one now called Blue Fire that just opened on
Yes,
the west side.
that's right.
So season 2, we'll probably start out at Blue Fire and show off because the Dispensary Lounge, Pascal Ilia's there.
Yes,
and,
that's right.
You know, just amazing Michelle Johnson
Right.
and even some of the casinos, although they're very difficult.
In fact, one of our new members, Wendy Carianis, was just there.
Was at the dispensary, yeah.
That's right. And
She's frequently there on
Pasquale was
Saturdays
there,
or
and Uli
Wednesdays.
was playing. Yes.
Uli's
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
great.
Jeannie is a perfect example. Make your own breaks.
Right.
You're going
Yeah.
to sit around and wait. I
That's
mean,
right.
it ain't going to happen.
That's right.
You know, go make your own breaks.
That's right. We said that last week.
We're
They're
going
not
to say
gonna
it
come
over
play
and
out of
over
your
again.
house.
We're
That's
going to
right.
say it over and over again.
Okay, so this is Women in Music and Arts, if you're just tuning in, and we are going to take a quick break for our sponsors and come back to Women in Music and Arts, and we are having so much fun in the studio that we just never stop talking. We just keep going right through everything. So welcome back, and we are Women in Music and Arts, empowering women, empowering artists of all ages through education and mentorship. And we are broadcasting live from Las Vegas every Wednesday at noon on KLAV AM 1230 on your dial and streaming online at KLAV 1230am.com. Our show today is sponsored by the members of Women in Music and Arts, and you can find out more about Women in Music and Arts by going to our website, wimafoundation.org. Speaking of Women in Music and Arts, I do want to talk a little bit about what we do. We are a dynamic group of women that have come together, and we do have some men in the group too, and we welcome men to join the organization. And what we do is we do monthly mixers, we have events, special events. We had a songwriter showcase, we had a big band date, we had a tribute to the ladies of jazz. We've got a Broadway series starting up that's going to be at premiering at the Winchester Cultural Center on August the 11th.
Cool.
We are singing this weekend at the With It, the 15th anniversary of the With It organization, and it's a women's organization that was formed for the furniture business, basically, because it was a predominantly male-dominated industry. And 15 years ago, someone said, it was one of the stores, one of the manufacturers, I think she said it was Century 21 Furniture, that came forward and said, I would, sponsor this organization. So they brought together other manufacturers. So we're doing that this weekend. We have, 8 of us singing?
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
In fact, we're also singing with Marco Varela, who is a wonderful tenor. And he just recently joined WIMA, and he'll be performing with us also at the Winchester Community Center, or Culture Center. So I'm so excited about that. And I'm excited about some of the workshops we've done, which is the Empowering Women workshops, tapping into your talents, and we'll be having more of those coming up soon. We're also putting together a one-day music conference that's going to come up sometime this fall. We haven't picked a date yet, but we have some artists like Jimmy Haslett, Jeff Lorber, Pat Coyle. We've got Lorna Flowers from Nashville, and a few of the songwriters are going to be coming out for that. And we're really excited about it because we want to bring Songs Alive together with an NSAI together with WIMA and the Nevada Youth Alliance to put this on. And we'll probably have other organizations teaming up with us on this because we hope to bring, BMI and ASCAP and CSAC in on it, to do some sponsoring. So it's really exciting that we're growing as an organization, and also that we do a lot of community outreach. We've done things for Baby's Bounty. We've done things for Nevada's Children First, and then we just continue to do some community outreach, which is very nice. So please come to our website, wimafoundation.org, and check us out. You can become a member, be a sponsor of our WIMA radio show. You can sponsor anything that we're doing, any of our events, and also you can donate to the WIMA Scholarship Fund, which in December, we're planning the first part of December to have a big gala fundraiser, and we want to invite some of the high schools and probably the Vegas Academy, to come out and do some performances at that event, and basically introduce ourselves in a big way to the community. And then in May, we'll hopefully be giving out some of those scholarships to deserving students of the arts. So that's a little bit about WIMA. So please drop on by our website, wimafoundation.org, and check us out. And please do become a member. Okay? All right. So what else do we need to cover? We've got website. You already said your website. Go ahead, Jeannie, tell them again.
I have lots of websites. The television show is www.thevintagevegasvarietyshow.com.
And your personal website?
Personal website is just www.jeanniebrei.com.
Okay.
JeanneBrei.com. And I know the spell checker will automatically try to make me cheesy, and it'll try to flip that I before E, but I was a rule breaker before birth.
And I'm also sure that all of your websites are linked up together.
All link up together. They do.
So Amy, people can find out more about you in a couple different places too.
I try to make it easy breezy. AmyFrost.com, that easy. And then I'm the National Training Director for the Nonprofit Sector Foundation. So it's nonprofitsectorfoundation.org. And the question I want to leave people with as you're going through your day is, before you do something, I want you to ask yourself, what is the best use of my time right now?
I keep asking myself.
It's very zen.
Isn't it?
And then remember the five finger.
The five finger, absolutely. And if people want, and just go to, you can go, we'll give it to you, or they come to me, Amy at amyfrost.com, and I'll email it to you.
And then we can put it on the website too.
Yeah, sure.
And then Laura Manning. Again, you have your own website. It's Laura Manning. What was that?
Weebly.
Weebly, WEEBLY.com. See, I almost remembered it all. And you also teach. You teach people how to sing.
Yes.
And you take singers that are already seasoned singers also, and you can work with them, because sometimes I was just saying, as we go through our change of life, and going from our teens to our 20s to our 30s and beyond, there's changes that our bodies go through, and also there's changes that our vocal cords go through. And we want to keep them healthy, just like an athlete wants to keep their body healthy, and dancers want to keep healthy. We all want to stay healthy as we can be.
Yes.
So you do teach, and is that information also on your website?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And actually, I recommend anybody that wants to have any kind of a public life at all to study singing, because singing is ultimate speech. So if you have to make speeches in your business, you would do well to study voice, because it will give you breath control. It will make you able to speak without getting tired, without getting sore throats. Very important.
Very important. Very important.
And I love it.
All right. Well, what does WIMA mean to you, Jeannie?
Oh wow! Well, just from all the things that you have planned, it's such a dynamic organization, and it's support. It's actually more than support. It's education as well, and that it is impacting the community, and that it impacts you personally as a singer. In that it's a wonderful thing to be amongst your peers, and be able to help them. You know, I always invite people. Sitting in with my band is actually not a given. It's an invitation only sort of thing.
That's good.
But you know, if it's a fellow WIMA singer that I've heard at
Right.
like the Songwriter Showcase, I know that they're going to know their key and they'll know, you know, that sort of thing. I want it to be very professional whenever they appear on
Sure.
on my stage. But my band, the Speakeasy Swingers, do play every month. Last night we were at the House of Blues, and it's a wonderful thing to say the Jerry Swing Night.
Well, we're glad to have you as a member.
Thank you.
And I'm glad that you invite us out to come and see you. And then Laura, what does WIMA mean to you?
Well, when I first heard about it, I said, what a great idea, and why didn't I think of it? Really, you know, I have talents in certain directions, but others, organizational things like that. No, I didn't think of that, and I'm very glad you did it. It's a great idea.
Well, as Amy reminded me, she said, keep people around you that are good, that have specialties. So, if, you know, because
Yeah.
I know I have challenges with that organizational stuff too, but I have people like Sierra Stencil who's helping me on her little mini vacation before she goes back to college in California, and I'm hoping to get her back on you know, Thanksgiving breaks and Christmas breaks, and we'll see. But she's been a wonderful help to me, and thank you. I want to say thank you to Sierra, because I know she's leaving me Friday.
Oh no.
Anyway, but we love having her be part of WIMA, and she's one of our interns, and we welcome her back anytime she's in town. So, it is our last minute, and we have to say goodbye, and I'm so sorry, but this has been Women in Music and Arts, and I'm your host, Sandy Kastel, and we are broadcasting live from Las Vegas every Wednesday at noon on KLAV AM 1230 and streaming online at KLAV1230am.com. Please join us at WIMAFoundation.org, and we will see you again next week. Bravo.